Welcome back. Exclusive audio detective interview with Dominic's mother and brother about the kids at Steelers. This right here is kind of sickening, but here we go.
Last week, some of the issues that we asked about, she said you might be able to shed some more light on. Mostly, what I'm interested in is the relationship between Mackenzie, Dominic, and perhaps some of the things you might have seen or some of the things that Dominic confided in you about. Okay? I'm not going to ask about anything else. It's at this point not pertinent to what you know. So my first question to you is, how long have you known Mackenzie?
She was like, I forget if she was in 8th or 9th grade, but she's not young. I think, I would say since she was in 9th grade. Like, 9th grade, I think we didn't initially meet. She was in 8th grade, and but like, I think they just met as like, friends or whatever. The first time I was introduced to her as like, oh, whatever, this is like, girlfriend or whatever. Just, in high school.
Gotcha. What was your relationship like with her? Did you talk to her?
In the earlier years of the relationship, we were like much more close. She would like come to me with a lot of stuff, like kind of talk to me like a big brother, And there's many times like they were having issues years ago where Dom would want to break up with her or something. It wouldn't be like that simple. It'd be like, like from time to time again, almost like she had like issues, like self-esteem issues, like she'd get crazy about stuff, like he was cheating and stuff when he's not, you know what I mean, stuff like that. And then for a while, I would talk to her, and you know what I mean, then it'd be like not constant, but they'd be like every like couple weeks at one point, or like a week or so, where they were almost breaking up, and then she'd be threatening to hurt herself. And this is back when she's in probably 10th grade, like she's still a sophomore. Dom's like a junior or senior or whatever, And stuff would arise, and it would like never really take like a healthy course, to be honest with you. And over time, my relationship with her really subsided. I stopped talking to her. I stopped like really trying to be there for her, because ultimately I just think she was very, very selfish. And for me, like there's two types of love you give somebody, and it's like I love that person unconditionally, and I want to see them prosper and be happy, no matter what that entails for me. And there's a type of love that's selfish and restricted, and I want them all to myself. And that was Kenzie with Dom. It was the latter, not the first step. There was times where, even in later years, where, Dom's old enough to like he wasn't like drinking age, we could go to bars and hang out and stuff, even though he couldn't like drink and stuff. And there would be times, that one of my friends, because I'm 23, would be having a birthday party, and she would like forbid him from going, and it'd be all just my buddies, because she'd be like, oh, there's probably gonna be girls there. Well, if it's a bar, there's probably going to be girls there, yes, and there's probably gonna be men. It's a public place, you know what I mean? But she got weird over going to public places with like a lot of stuff. But all of that stuff like led me from distancing myself from her, because it just became a thing where I couldn't help her in my eyes, because she was always stuck on like a selfish path, like wouldn't like listen to me or take my place, Even even like the aspect of like it's better to have loved and lost and never like loved at all, she never got that. It's always like, no, blah 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 blah. Like, I'll never let him go kind of thing.
Gotcha. So let's go back to the crazy part. You mentioned that anytime Dom would kind of want to break up with her, she kind of go crazy. Describe crazy. Like what kind of crazy?
Like there is times where she called Dom and said, obviously like, they were together for a long time, and they built like a relationship, and they cared for each other deeply. You see what I'm saying? And even though Dom did care for her deeply, I'm not disputing any of that. But he's seen all the toxicness that she was putting on him, and every single time he would try to distance himself from that and say, hey, we can be friends, it's not blah blah blah, still good from you, you know. But like I want to break up or whatever, she would say stuff like that.
So how do you know that? If you don't mind me asking. So she told you, or
She's told me, he's told me, they both told me.
okay?
Like this is me, her not recently, because like I said, like we haven't been, you know, close in like a long time. But I mean, I've got my phone since, so maybe I don't really text with her because I'm here. But if you went through the service provider or whatever, even if I text records, a couple of years ago, I was just like me having a long paragraph text with her telling her like this and that, and trying to like be accommodating and nice to her about stuff, and her just not listening to a word I'm saying. I mean, this is a while ago.
Have you had the same number, even though you got your phone? Has you saved that number? What is your phone number?
So when was the last time she kind of expressed that to you about wanting to kill herself if down?
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Like I had her on Snapchat, blocked her on Snapchat. For a while, I had her phone number blocked because even I'd put down and she would nonstop blow up my phone, trying to say like, "Where is he?" Blah blah blah. He'd miss one of her calls and be driving or something, and he'd miss like one of her calls, and I'd have to call her on my phone and be like, "Hey, relax, we're going to get some food," and it'd be like a whole even that would be like,
Where was she living at the last, 6 months or so?
pretty much. I mean, pretty much I've seen her at Dom's house like every night almost, you know. Even like at times when like me and him, because you know Dom like making music and stuff. So every time like me, him, and his buddy Blair, we all like sing together and stuff like that. We'd be in this room with the mic and all that, making music. She's just sleeping on the couch by herself. Like it's like I don't know if that's like I never really asked Dom like is she living here or anything, but she's definitely at his house way more than her own, even at nighttime and stuff like that.
Do you know if she has any property at the house? Clothes, makeup, stuff like that?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Still alone there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I want this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did at one point want to gather and put stuff up. I've been in there since I got.
This right here should have gave the cops red flags. Detectives interviewing Dominic's mom and brother about her before all this happened should have gave red flags. Her erratic behavior, her constantly got control Dominic. It's classic signs of abuse in a relationship. It should have got red flags. Somebody should have stepped up and called the cops about this and wouldn't have this problem. Because clearly she has some kind of mental problems. She's not all there. She's got missing cars. The light bulb's not on. The light's on, but no one's behind the wheel. One light bulb's not working right, all the other one's blinking. Kind of situation. These are classic abuse trait syndromes and everything. People seen this, but they didn't do nothing about it. So now for 2 innocent people lost their lives because of this pathetic woman child couldn't get her way.
So,
Has anyone else had access to the house?
Just you.
Okay.
I haven't been there like a month either, honestly. It's
Okay.
been a month, to be honest.
Has her attorney reached out to you about because they have reached out to me and I said, I'm going to go.
to try to go over there?
Yeah, because they wanted her driver's license. And they said first her dad reached out to us a couple of times and I said, at best, I'm requesting escort upon this tour show. If she says yes, could arrange it. If she says no, we're done. And then last time when he's kind of getting under my skin, I said, no, we're not getting involved in this. And So he had his lawyer call me. And it was the old lawyer from Columbus, and I told him the exact same thing. This is not a criminal matter. You're not getting in the middle of this civil stuff. Right now, emotions are high, the losers are breathing. This is not the right time to get her driver's license. So I know her DL is still young.
How old is that?
But what I would say, let me tell you that rotten son of a bitch father of hers never said a freaking word to me. I called him in some period. Of course, my husband debunked him, and that bastard never even said hello. How are you? I'm sorry. Nothing. Nothing. Radio silence. Not a word.
If it came to it, would you have a problem with us coming over and just taking some pictures of her things in there?
Or if you want to get fresh
Take them, if you're okay to go in there.
to show her everything.
Yeah, we really want to show.
Makeup, what clothes does she have, like a jacket, or does she have like, underwear, stuff where it would show establish a breast
makeup, right.
She had clothes at my house. Remember, I always maintained the room for them.
Right.
She had clothes in my house. I would be washing clothes, and I was washing her clothes. I can say that. And that was before the moved next door, which we kind of just considered it all our big house, because he just could not sleep in the same house with Christopher. They just had a conflict, and
Right.
it just stressed him out too much. So,
Well, and it's kind of nice that it was right next door and he could just stay there.
right, and come over for breakfast and dinner and the whole bit.
We just want to establish that residence. We want to show that
it's multiple places, so So there's, I remember seeing shoes in the living room. I know there was purses in the back room, because when we were looking for his clothes and shoes, that's when I brought up. And then I was ready to just take it and throw it and stuff out. And so I don't know where this came from. I don't know who gave it to her, and I just put it back. So I have touched the stuff,
That's
but
okay.
I left it where I found it. And then, so these two rooms for sure.
Yeah, if you can maybe either take a recording of it or get pictures of it, we just want to be able to establish, because her dad slip of a tongue, and he's like, oh, she's been living with Lisa, and then mom right away and jumped in. I was like, no, he just visited her.
Something else too, because I know this isn't obviously that you're gonna protect the young daughter in this instance, but I had a buddy who went and seen Kenzie in the hospital actually, and was like, how's it going, blah blah blah, and then as soon as something did come up about the crash, our mom shut it down and said oh, we can't speak of any of that because of public legality matters. There was a point in time where I was texting her mom directly about her daughter's problems, about Kenzie's problems, saying this and that. I remember at the time, her parents were trying to give her antidepressants and she was already getting antidepressants since I believe middle school, right? And like teenage girls, they have a lot of drama going on. And to me, to be honest, her drama didn't seem any more than a normal teenage girl that just might be a little high strung. You see what I'm saying? So, she was on, I think it was Zoloft or Prozac, one of the two, I forget, for over a year. And, she hasn't taken them in forever either. But, this is back in, I think, 8th grade or something, 9th grade that she quit. And then I started talking to Kenzie about it, and Kenzie was telling me that, the pills, made her feel worse. And I started talking to her mom about that, and her mom's kind of had this attitude, don't tell me how to raise my daughter. And I'm like, well, I'm actually, not to say too much, but I'm a psychology minor. So it's I know a little bit about this stuff, and she doesn't have any, you know what I mean? She doesn't actually have any issues, you know what I mean? So, I don't know, I feel maybe, obviously being exposed to antidepressants, you don't really need them, might have,
Do you know from,
in some way, I don't know.
do you know from, what was your relationship like with Dominic? Were you guys close? Did you find it? So would you say it's fair that Dominic perhaps shared some, say, secrets, some brotherly information with you about her? Can't put up with this, or I'm worried about my safety, if she's a crazy driver, I'm getting in a car with her, something like that sort.
There was multiple times in the month of July that he was talking about this.
Really?
Yeah, literally just even last month. 2 months ago, 1 month before he died.
Yeah, prior to the crash, yeah, we got you.
Can you tell me more about that? Whatever you know.
There was, I know that you probably already spoken about this, but there was an instance literally the week or a couple of days before the crash that she was hitting him on the highway while driving on the highway, and he had to pull his car over on the side of the highway, not the very same parking spot either. To have somebody else come pick them up and drive the car home because he was scared that she was in a crash. And that was just prior to the day before the actual crash, where she was driving.
That's
So
different.
That's
than
different
my
than the
highway.
one,
On the
okay.
highway.
So that's a different highway one where
Because on the
Dominic
Dominic, he
was-
was driving, right?
Correct.
So on this one, he was driving.
Yes, the highway thing before the crash, he was driving, she was hitting.
Okay.
He's driving, she's hitting. He has to pull over on the side of the highway to avoid any possible.
And how do you know about that? What's your
Oh,
source of info?
I was actually, I was already on vacation, right? I'm pretty sure. I was out of town, or else he probably would have called me.
Okay.
But I was in Florida. So he called up a family friend, and his name's Chris. And
There, yeah, because he's at my text system, or I don't know. Well, there
Yeah,
it is.
well, it's in the text.
Yeah.
Okay, well, he called Hench and said, hey, pick me up. And Hench came and picked him up. And then I heard about it. I don't know if he even really. I was still in Florida when it happened.
And so these
he
are
didn't really
two
give me
different
my
incidents,
background,
right?
I talked to Hench about it. I heard about it. And that's one thing I didn't hear from him because I wasn't in town.
Okay. But you heard it from Hench that
He's alive and it gets personal knowledge on that, so he's gonna come up twice. I didn't know about that one.
Right. We just knew about, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so, all right. And Hench picked him up from Fulton.
Yes.
Wait, that's a month away.
Yeah, that's about the time that, when I was gonna, it was that Sunday when it was right when we were in town. I was in the garage, I was, had that testing the next day, when she was driving to crash the car, and killed him on the highway. And I didn't have time to look at them, going down there, and I
Is it the same situation last time we sent
thought,
out?
no, because she was driving, this one down.
Yeah, one time she was behind the wheel, and then the other time Dom was behind the wheel. We knew a lot about the one when she was behind the wheel. I don't think there's a whole lot that I've found yet.
Yeah, I'm
Her
pretty sure.
phone that talks about that one.
I heard from someone else who has me questioning if I have my story mixed up. You know, I'm pretty sure I was told that he was driving.
That's okay, we'll clear it up with that.
yeah, we can double check
Okay.
with Hench. See,
I don't want to get
Yeah,
that
no,
information.
that's fine. That's not a problem. So let's go back to the whole breakup scenario. So we've established that Dominic, and from your first-hand knowledge, Mackenzie would threaten to hurt herself and Dominic should he be broken up with her.
Yes.
And now we know, Dominic mentioned it to you that he plans on breaking up with her. Did he tell you?
I might even be able to look at the text right now for that. I don't really know. If he told me if it was on a phone call.
But it's firsthand. What I'm trying to understand is he told you directly, like, Angelo, can't do this shit.
Honestly, like, it's heartbreaking to me because, like, the day before I went to Florida, which is the last time I seen him face to face, he was really just talking to me about, about, like, how he can't keep letting Mackenzie, like, run his life. But not even in an aspect like that. Like, he said, like, like, for example, how we're saying how he can't go to, like, he can't go out with even me occasionally because she's upset about this and that. He said that she holds him back. And we were just talking about, like, traveling. I was saying, like, hey, let's go on some vacations together, this and that. He was talking to me, like, just me and him, let's go and let's go see some stuff, and live it up. And, I don't know. He was telling me about how he wants to travel the world too, which has always been one of my dreams, to travel the world, And, like, I think he was really, honestly, finally getting to the point to where, like, even if she was, like, saying, oh, I'm gonna hurt you, he would have, like, maybe even taken that chance. Because it was going on for like 2 years. It was really going on for like 2 years. And they'd be good for like a month or two. Like sometimes they have 2-3 fights in a week.
Have you ever seen them going at it, fighting?
Yes.
Maybe in the house.
Oh,
Can you
yeah.
describe what was it like?
She honestly, like, he'll be like, dude, he he would be so nice and as accommodating as possible to stop the fight. And she'd be one of those people that is just petty, 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 petty. You know what I mean? Just too, like, to the fullest extent. He'd be like, what's upsetting you? I'll fix it. You know? And then she would just have some, like, snob comment. I can't even quote her word for word, but he's just, like, I remember times him, like, expressing to me how frustrated that he was, saying, I do every single thing I can for this girl. I ask her, what's upsetting you, I'll make it better, this and that, blah, blah, and she finds like any single thing to be bad about, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, I witnessed it a lot too, like, I don't know,
Did you ever see her hit him with her hands on him?
Or hit,
Like just go or throw stuff at him? Or,
no,
Actually, now that you say that, I remember several times now, because my memory's doing the job, I say, Mom, get Kenzie out of here. She's refusing to leave, she's out of control, she's hit me, I do remember that. And,
I never
and then I
witnessed
would get on the phone and say, just leave and go home.
there's multiple times, even pretty recently before all this, that Don would have to call Kenzie's parents, call her mom and stuff, and say, hey, you need to come get Kenzie out of here, because she's refusing to leave my house, she's being crazy. And it'd be a situation where they'd be in a fight. You know? Keep in mind something stupid that she started. And he's like, listen, he's like, just go home. He's like, well, we'll hang out tomorrow. It'll be like a whole like big thing. He finally had to get her out. She the type to show back up at his house, pounding on his window. No, I'm coming in, blah, blah, blah. We're talking this shit out right now. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, there's times where that happened and we were in the house hanging out with him. He's like, okay, you guys just gotta go. And I gotta talk to him. And it's like, I don't know, just really everything behind it, the number one word for it is like selfish and self-centered. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't really know how to like go through arguments properly, doesn't know how to do stuff healthily, wants to.
Would you attribute that to her age? Or was it 2 years this thing went down?
Yeah,
About 2 years.
but
Because
I mean-
early on, you knew her when she was pretty young, 9th, 10th grade-ish. But let's talk about maybe the last year. Was it
Does her
like
personality get worse, or
Yeah.
has it always been
was it
steady?
sure, you think?
so
Or was it more of just an unstable thing?
earlier years, I just had more of a relationship with her as a big brother, so I
Okay.
knew more of what was going on with her, like directly from her.
Yeah.
Okay? But her behavior never really got better. To me, it almost just got more drastic. Like before, when she was younger, 9th, 10th grade, she would go home when they were fighting or whatever, and then be texting him saying, oh, I'll hurt myself, blah, 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 blah. And then he's like, okay, please don't, we can work this out, whatever, you know. But then it came to the point where she's 16 now, she's driving, she's 17, she's getting older, you know. She's driving back over, she's banging on windows, like, her behavior became more erratic. Maybe also because she had more ways to let it out and to show that, you know, maybe come over or whatever. But, no, at first it'd be like, when
She lives close to you guys too. She's just on the street. Yeah,
So, Angelo, have you ever been a passenger while she was driving?
oh my gosh, I don't know.
Do you know anything about her driving? Anybody ever describe her driving to you?
I mean, she's told me, I've heard her say that she thinks she's a great driver. I forget who told me. I don't think it was Don. It might have been his buddy Blair told me that she's a terrible driver. You know, never really like, I'd have to bring it up. I didn't really internalize it if I did know about her driving. All I know is I never really wanted to get in the car with her just because like, not like saying like, oh, she's crazy, she'll crash the car and hurt us or something. Like, obviously I was mad at the time, but just her high-strung anxiety, like she's just like a really high-strung person. I don't know if it's kind of personality in the car with. She kind of like has moments where she like obviously like loses her composure.
Where's, now you said places, that bitch drives crazy, she needs to be seen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't there on the speed and driving crazy.
Yeah, but Don would bitch at her about the speed.
Who did you say went to West Virginia?
Oh, it was Florida.
Oh, Florida. That was her mom, but it didn't. your ex and somebody go down, you met them. Did she fly to Florida? Come down, fly to Florida? They drove? They drove a stand-up with, so it's her and Dom and then her mom and, okay. But you guys flew down and met them.
No, we also drove.
Oh, you did drive?
Yeah, me and my dad, we already had, I guess they already had some trip planned. They were going to Orlando. And my dad wanted to, they were taking back vacations, me and him. So we said, okay, let's get my car, go hit Destin, go see Grand Sherry. And then Clearwater was right like in between, like Fort Myers and Orlando. So we met in Clearwater. For a day, like me and my dad, Dom, Kenzie's mom,
Okay.
and her sister.
Okay. What was she like down there? The reason I'm like, oh god, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. I remember it was like a huge project. We barely even got to hang out because we got down there. Clearwater, it's busy, right? So Kenzie's driving, right? Kenzie refused to let Dom drive. And so she's driving the car. And so we're going this way. There's a big like roundabout on the main road in Clearwater. It goes in both directions. Most of the shops are all like this way. So going down the roundabout, we kept saying turn right, right? She went around the roundabout twice, and going like, hey, turn back around, come back, and miss it again. And before she finally went the right way, we're turning around, saying just stay where you're at. We'll just come. We'll just like come to you. We're driving back. They don't listen. Keep driving this way. Now they're over here. Now we gotta come back. It took us 45 minutes just to even figure out where they were going. Then we didn't even get parked together, okay? Because after all this driving around, all this trying to figure out like how to pull up next to each other, finally Kenzie decides that she's starving and needs something to eat. And Dom says, okay, no, Kenzie, I guess food. And
So when you and Dad drove down, you did not caravan with them. You were at your own timeline, essentially.
yeah, we were just meeting at the beach,
Okay.
And we all met up at one stop before going to the beach. And we decided that, or they decided more like we should just drive separate.
Dom tell you anything about her driving down there? We heard an incident that happened on the way to Florida. Did he mention anything to you about that? Involving her driving?
It's on the way to Florida.
Something about her driving.
Say something about it. Maybe they drive my memory. I'm not really sure.
Just, the unsafe driving where, speeds, kind of closing up on people where he might have not felt safe to actually come back. Anything about that?
I think I remember saying something to me about how he drove boats here,
Okay.
and because it was more comfortable. But I don't think he went into detail about it. About something about it. Has anybody, or that's like?
Yeah, again, one of the things, we got a lot of the kids
I think
telling
he
us
told
things,
me.
and we're just trying to sort of
I think he told me he drove most
see a whole
way.
of it.
So like obviously though, not like obviously it's split up driving unless you just feel more comfortable driving. So that kind of argued about it. I mean, I don't know. I was nervous to begin with. So was my dad. Before we left, and Dom and Kenzie driving just them because like Kenzie's, we've already said nothing about her driving, and Dom, it's not like he's the greatest driver either. He's a decent driver, but he's got all this hair in his face and stuff, and brushing his hair, like kind of see and shit. It's like I was nervous about hearing him driving all that distance, to be honest, but not like in terms of Dom being crazy or anything. Just like, yeah.
So,
Being my space.
I got you. So, just to be kind of very clear cut with this, recently, I'd say maybe 2022, did Dom say anything to you about being concerned for his safety? Not maybe something malicious, but something like, hey, you know what, this girl's gonna get herself killed, or get somebody killed, or get some innocent driver or pedestrian, somebody killed because of her driving. Anything that maybe, any conversations like that between just, two brothers, chopping it up.
She didn't dress. He definitely said she's the kind of person to follow through with her dress.
He believed she would follow through.
Yeah, not like, I mean, obviously everybody makes false threats and empty threats and stuff like that. But some of the stuff she would say, I do remember her telling me, yeah, man, it's crazy. She would actually probably do that shit.
So, since the crash and the passing of Dominic, has she been in contact with you? Has she reached out to you?
She texted me multiple times. I can read you the text word for word. She never once said, I'm sorry for your loss. She never once said, I'm so sorry for what happened. She never once took any responsibility. Not even having taken any responsibility, just saying, I'm sorry Dom's gone. Like anything. But she asked me for forgiveness about 10 times. Saying, I hope that you forgive me. I still want to be a part of your family. I'll just show you the text and make it easier. I would rather you see the text, but he's disgusting.
Oh, he's looking at that, so I'm going to forget how he knows this is,
I didn't even open the last one. I'm opening another one again. But he's literally disgusting.
we went to the last year. I took off work, went to court, and we were all four, me and down in Kenzie, and go looking. So I packed snacks for the cooler and all that. So we had a bag that had like chips and that sort of thing that someone put in the bags because somebody crushed. Well, I forgot. She ruined my paper picture. She sat there and threw something and forgot those chips that she had nothing to eat. And I kept saying, we're enjoying our day, there's no fighting, we will find something for you to eat, and we can stop and go.
She was not satisfied with anything.
No, nothing. It didn't matter what I had. It was not, she did not have those chips, okay? So we ended up stopping at one of the places that was like a bar, restaurant, or whatever, and finally we got her or whatever. But the whole thing, and Dom was just stressed out this whole time, just because she was so pissed about those chips. And then she was very crafty on how she would do stuff. She would stick her, me and Andrew, and there, she would stick her digs and her comments so that we could keep. And all I would ever say, I always try to be neutral, because I always think when these kids are going to break up, they're going to get back together, and I'm going to say something that's going to damage the whole thing. And I would just say, there's no fighting, we're having a great day, we're new, and we'll get through it, we'll find you something to eat, don't worry, you know what I mean? And it was just a big tantrum. Everything was, I mean, she forgot chips, okay, I get it, I mean, but that is not enough to be a tantrum to me today.
So Don was 20, right? He couldn't even come next door to eat his mom's dinner half the time because Kenzie would cry about how her food must be like gluten-free, everything, all that, you know? And as a 20-year-old kid, and he's like the man, you know, he's cooking for her every single night. And then also like, even just in terms of like relationship, not even but anything else, I witnessed so many times her like him saying to her, like, I cook for you every night, can you at least just like clean some stuff and do the dishes? And then she'd be like, make it like a thing, like it's like one of the things like saying it's just petty. She'd be like, oh, I'll do the dishes after you start being nice to me. And he's like, how am I being mean to you or something? Be like, it wouldn't even make any sense. And just be like, okay, like, come on, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's one of these days.
Can you see those texts when she did not express remorse or apology or anything?
First, I wanted you to kind of note how long it was since we talked before this. She texted me on August 6th, okay? Before that, the last time she texted me was May 7th. So
May 7th.
was the last time she texted me, and it was just to say Dom's phone died. The last time she texted me before that was she was asking me if I could do homework for her because she was too lazy to do her math work.
Wow.
And I mean, honestly, like,
So May 7th, and then when was the next time after May 7th? What was the date?
August 6th, after the crash.
Okay.
And you could read it. This is what she said word for word.
August.
Do you want to read it out loud so we can hear it?
Hey, no, we'll read it till here. It says, hey Angelo, that's August 6th, 4:14 p.m. Hey Angelo, I don't know if you hate me, but tomorrow for the funeral, would you be able to go in Dom's room and grab some photos from his desk for me and him so I could put them into the casket so he can be with me forever?
Doesn't say sorry, doesn't say nothing, doesn't say anything. It just says, hey Angelo, I don't know if you hate me, but can you go grab pictures of us, put them in his casket so I can be with me forever? How, like, honestly, how psychotic does that sound? that sounds fucking twisted. She texted me again after that, and all just to say, please let me know. Then she texted me again, August 23rd. Actually, she did say sorry one time. First time that she ever said this. She said, here we read if you want.
Says, hi Angelo, I just wanted to say I'm so sorry. I know you probably think this is all my fault, and I'm not asking you to feel bad for me, but I just wanted to say I'm so sorry, and I know you miss him so much. I wish he was here too. This should have never happened. He loves you so much, and IK, you, I know.
Yeah, I know.
You know that. I don't even know what to say to you or just feel so bad. I hope you guys can forgive me because I'll always look at you guys as family. You don't even need to respond to me. Just wanted you to know I'm so sorry. Okay.
But see, even these texts that she sent me, even in this one, okay, it maybe would have been something if it's like, hey, if it was just, I'm so sorry, you know. But then she has to go just one line. It's one sentence of I'm so sorry, and then it goes, I know you probably think this is all my fault, and I'm asking you to feel bad for me. Why would I feel bad for you in this situation? How to take you one sentence of saying sorry, and then just to go to that. And then you're going to say,
I know that since we gave her
it's like,
back,
and she says, I hope you guys can forgive me. In the first text, what you saying? In the first text, we finally apologize, right? So I'm finally saying, I'm sorry I killed your brother. I hope you forgive me. How is forgiveness and me feeling bad for you even on your mindset? Like, how is it even on? Like, how is it even on? It should literally be like, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I thought the pain. Like, it should all be
Well,
about
it shows
who you're texting.
She's worried about what you think of it. So she's just not
It's
sorry to
everything.
offer.
Like the whole entire consistency of her is just she's just self-absorbed and self-centered. Everything that she texts me, even if she's finally saying I'm sorry, it's about her. It's not even about me.
So, I know since we gave her the phone, she's been back active on social media and all that. Any of your friends screenshot you anything? Have you, we've received some photos of her in the wheelchair out and about.
I could definitely get some screenshots. I'm not on social media much at all.
Okay.
But the first thing I did hear of at the time, we didn't even know if this was her mom or her or what. And we didn't even know if she was even awake to use a phone. We didn't know if what her injury was or anything, you know. And the first thing I seen from her, she didn't text my mom. She didn't text me. She didn't text my dad. She didn't text anybody in my family. The first thing I seen from her contacting anybody was she texted a modeling agency that reached out to her and said something. And she went on Instagram. But that was before even like you're gonna go and reach out to a modeling agency on Instagram. Like I want to use your picture before texting
Several people.
Yeah.
many people in between that should have gotten that text beforehand. You know what I mean? And then like her mom, her dad, instead of never even text me once. I already previous to this had somewhat of a relationship with her mom, talking about her daughter's issues or whatever, and what I think or whatever, you know. And it wasn't like we never talked before. You know what I mean? I come say hi to her in the driveway. You know what I mean? When she's driving around, and unfortunately she was driving a while ago,
But she definitely has your number.
she's never said not even a word. Not neither from her dad or nothing. You know what I mean?
I was just gonna say that just about that she always is concerned about being so again, like I just feel some curiosity, and now she's been sort of telling me where she's going, so maybe we kind of avoid it. But I'm still talking to her. Well, plus she dangles all the pictures of them and videos and claims she just found this. Let me send this to you, and I never. That's her way of just talking. But anyway, the one kid came over and introduced himself, said he never knew Don, but he was friends with me down there at his church. And well, I started talking, and I said Don's mom, Kenzie was there, and there was another lady there, and the dad was there, and she said, well, just thank you so much for coming. And then at the time, I was so scared. Everybody was strong as well. I had this man, my mother, she went to that concert in New So, you know, the monitors had moved her to the wheelchair to a different section and all of that, but, yeah. So, and I think that
So which concert was that? Because there's two that she's been to.
Listen,
This
was
is
a record.
Nautica.
This is one of the non
Listen, here's the thing too.
We got pictures.
Like Kid Cudi.
Somebody from Stronghold was there. That's who it is.
And here's the thing though too, is like Kid Cudi, like I love Kid Cudi. When I was like, you know, like younger, and he's like, I'll talk about Cleveland, and Cleveland is the reason, all this stuff, blah blah blah, and really like kind of took like a different edge. To, like he was like a rapper, but he wasn't rap. He wasn't talking about violence or anything like that. He was talking about like, you know, like communities and like himself and stuff like that. You know, and, like a little bit about art and stuff like that too. But man, I love Kid Cudi. I was so distraught. I heard about the concert in June, and I was so distraught. I completely forgot until the day of the concert. People were, oh, we're going to the Cudi concert. And I'm kind of thinking like, dang, I wish I would have like remembered about that. But also it's like I don't even care. You know what I mean? So it's like, to me, it's even like you have that much in you to like remember all these bands and like go do all this stuff. It's like, dude, it wasn't like, it's not like it's like around my birthday. Yeah, you don't know how you get that, but it's like you remember to go to a Kid Cudi concert and get a ride in a wheelchair down here and like go through all that work to go see a concert. But I get like 2 texts from her ever, you know, and like it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's like,
Do me a favor.
Where her mind's at just does not seem right to me at all.
I'm gonna leave my card with you, but if anybody does send you texts, we told people to send them to us because I'm putting them in my report, showing them to Tim, just to kind of establish that pattern that, you know, since, you know, Alan says she's moving on, but she doesn't seem to care enough.
Since this tragedy, she's just gone on living her
Just
life.
out and about. And so, just, you know, even if you're not into it, just maybe text it to mom, have mom get them to me via email so I can attach them to these. Yeah, screenshots.
I have those one issues. I need to go in the house. That's what's even here. And they're going to call you guys about getting her stuff. She has not once said, she said, well, do you think Angela's going to go in there and destroy my things? This is what she said. And I said, no, Angela's not going to destroy anything. And I said, I can always get together what you have or something pictures, but I want to go in there. And she goes, can't you just tell anybody? And I just want to spend the day there because November 14th is our anniversary. And I'm just like, I can't.
Makes you think, what's in there that she wants?
So bad. Well, why does she want it? And how could you
Does
do
Dom
that?
keep cash in there?
That's one thing.
I know you were in Florida at the time of the tragedy here, but any idea why they were going down Progress to Alameda? Do you know in the past if they've used this as a shortcut to get somewhere?
Yeah, it tells me that they were coming, I forget the south or north or whatever. Obviously they were coming towards 82, down Pearl, and that's just supposed to cut through to go, you know, they end up on Westwood.
Right, but I know. Do you know why they were thinking that this is like a normal?
It's a normal cut through, yeah.
Normal cut through.
Just,
She's always staying.
I mean, the reason that I use it is just because of the way all the Pearl lights, because you get Pearl, you go light, you turn on Progress, you go right down Prospect, you have 2 lights, and you're right home, everything. So that's the reason why I take it. I would assume it's the same reason.
Okay.
One thing I can tell you about that I was curious about, like obviously just to wrap up a lot of what I was saying, you know what I mean? For one, like I heard that Don was riding in the back seat. That's not true. So he was in the front seat.
Well, I told you that. You don't said that.
That's right. It was front seat past the front. Front past. And Davion was in there.
She said that another thing I can put you guys in, she said she went to a psychic. Years ago, I went to my mom, and so I said, well, what did you say? He said, trying to get everything right. She says, no, you have to call. Well, she said basically nothing. But what she did go on and say is that when the psychic made it very clear to her that the accident was caused because she swerved left. I That's what I'm saying. So I'm just telling you, this is the latest story. Okay.
That's
so,
her story.
Good.
Yes.
Tell her to stick.
Yeah.
Tell her to stick to it.
Yeah. So that was the other thing. And you guys also, I heard.
She said that the psychic told her to swerve left.
No, that she swerved left.
That's why it happened. Well, she swerved right off the road.
I'm just telling you, I don't know the details. I'm just repeating what I'm finding. What else I want to say? Oh, you guys should know that. So that was what they were saying, and just going to go through this stuff. So I don't know. And there's times that there was family there, sometimes it was just the friends. So I told my ex that you're welcome, but we're just going to, just what we can do. So as far as just like, you're welcome, but nobody else, we're not invited. It's just went down, whatever. So the dad got all pissed off on the birthday party at his daughter's house. Cake, the whole bit, put up boards, put up pictures, and invited the whole shrill family.
It was downstairs.
Downstairs.
Your ex.
Yes. So I told you I don't, and again, it's the one who thinks that he's been told from
Voodoo.
yeah.
Yeah, he said that the pendulum told him to give Kenzie the flawless and that it's not her fault or something. And then he said it that day, and I forgive him. And I didn't even talk to him because he's just honestly such a good dude to me, like, in my eyes, you know. Like, I don't even know what he could be doing or whatever, but I mean, even for example, right, there was a situation where my cousin Antonio, right, he was 24, 25 years old, I forget. This is when I'm like 16. He's on the front of a boat, you know, sitting on front of a boat, and the driver hits a buoy, okay, in the water, cuts his legs off, bleeds out, he dies. The driver found MDMA in his blood, aside from alcohol, all this other stuff, you know, you're making these kids, you know. My dad nonstop talked every day that this guy would come out about how much of a piece of shit he was and how much, and how he was just getting burned in jail and all this stuff. Well, the guy got put on like a 5-year probation with like a 15-year suspended sentence and he messed it up and ended up like beating on the Robinson old guy or something. And I don't even know how you like ended up doing that, but did that and then goes back to court. And my Aunt Nicole, Antonio's mother, is court dates for this court case is in Florida, so we're like Saturday. So she's in, you know, up in Ohio, and she's on the video cam crying, has a whole like written testimony saying about how she wants to get maximum time, all this stuff, right? I'm there. This court case finally just got wrapped up in the end of April. So just now, in the end of April of this year, like however many years later, because the case was so long, the guy got sentenced to like 10 years in prison, right? My dad's like, at least he got 10 years, by which he has his whole fucking life in there, blah, blah, blah. So that's somebody, pretty identical situation. Somebody who killed somebody's son in our family in a crash while they were driving. Doesn't matter if they're high, sober, whatever. You know, that's what happened. Everybody hates this dude's guts years later, and they want to see him burn in hell. But Kenzie does this, my dad tosses some freaking Ouija board, and he forgives me. I think it's pretty freaking screwed up, to be honest with you. And it's like,
There's a lot of things. Like, maybe she's something to hold on to that was close to having
And he never hung out with him.
he keeps, no, it's not even that. He's been texting me saying that I'm not going to be happy until I let go of the hate in my heart. And I'm telling him, it's not about having hate in your heart. Somebody killed your son, someone killed my brother. It doesn't even seem like it was an accident. It seems like she took it upon herself to ram that car into that wall against both of their limbs. You know what I mean? I know Dom.
Let me ask you before you go any further off that point. Everything you know aside, everything you've heard from people, everything you've heard here, you as a grown man, are you saying that's your gut feeling?
What do you think happened?
Oh yeah, for sure. That's 100%. Since like, I mean,
Hold on.
since
What do you think happened? That
I think
yeah.
that, I mean, off of what I know and off my assumptions, I think that they were in some kind of fight. Dom tried to break up with her multiple times, even in July. He kept not like working out, whatever. They kept making back up. The only thing I can really think of is they were obviously in some kind of argument. Kenzie's known to be the kind of person that she's let us know she will never let go of Dom, and if she has to let go of Dom, she would not go on living herself. She's pretty much let that, And the whole thing that I think of is you're going 94 miles an hour. You don't have a very fast car to begin with. You're stopping that gas pretty much the whole entire time. There's no brake marks on the street at all. Even before they hit, you would think that some type of instinct would kick in and slam on the brakes. But to my knowledge, she went straight into it. To me, it seems like it might have been the fight, maybe not even arguing. I think if it was like vicious arguing if it was vicious argument while she was driving, she would have tried harder to spin the wheel. So I think that maybe they were lightly arguing, and she starts racing. He's trying to talk her down, saying like relax. She might have, I don't know what she had in her head. Okay, I know that we're breaking up, blah blah blah, this and that. I don't know what she could have possibly been thinking, but I can't go into details obviously because I have no idea. Obviously, but the whole idea, like main points, I think that they were in a fight. I think that she took it upon herself to purposely crash into that wall. I think that he must have been trying to talk her down the whole time. They swerved off to the right at the end. I think he might have grabbed the wheel towards the end of it, maybe trying to spin him or something. Who knows? She could have been bear hugging it. I don't know. They're hitting bumps too. They're going 90. He could have gone like, I don't know what's going through his head, But I do know that Dom never once in his life ever expressed to me any form of I want to kill myself, I want to die, ever. He wanted to do so much stuff. He wanted to start up his own, like shampoo lines, his own conditioner lines, he wanted his own clothing lines. He wanted to, get big in the music industry, real estate. He was trying to get buying houses. He had too many plans, too many goals for his life to plan anything like that. She's the only person I've ever seen around him say, I will kill you and I will kill myself if this thing happens. Like when she's not with him, there's been situations even the week before. There was two situations where he had to get on the highway because they couldn't drive him. You know what I mean?
What type of, and we don't care about pot, but what kind of drugs do you know about her?
I pretty much, honestly, just, to my knowledge, just pot and occasional alcohol. But I think even, recently, she's not been a big smoker at all. Because, I'd be over at the house, and, even Dom was even barely smoking. In the month of July and stuff, he just was getting over it, kind of, he didn't really have a bad problem with nickel anymore, and other his problems, it wasn't muscle or bone problems, he had bad nerve problems.
Yeah.
Really bad nerve issues and stuff. And so he was pretty much looking over that, and I pretty much barely seen him smoking at all. And then Kenzie, I think she was getting sick off of it or something. Some people have I forget what it's called, but they smoke weed for a while, want to throw up at least when she's sick or whatever. So to my knowledge, she was pretty much not smoking.
So any talk about acid
Wasn't really a
rooms, anything like that?
I heard rumors after the crash about there being acid involved, mushrooms, all this shit.
You've never seen it though.
I don't believe that's the case.
What about medical? Did you ever see her pass out? Ever mentioned, sitting here and all of a sudden she just passed out? Anything of that sort? Did you ever witness anything? How about you, Mr. Russo?
No.
Never heard, never seen any type of medical issue?
The only things I and just repeat this, sort of describing the same thing I did last time, but issue with some condition with the marijuana. I thought that was a while ago. I thought she was over that, and then this gluten-free for her son.
Yeah.
The food issues. But no other. She tried telling me the other day that she had some other medical conditions, and I think that was just fluffing to try to. Why wouldn't the government's mentioned me before?
Gotcha.
Now he's dead, you're going to mention this in the cemetery, you know what I'm saying? So I like they're trying to come up with some other things, but I don't know, the parents went out and bought that car. They put that car to fish their license. You know what I'm saying? So if you have a kid that you're worried about some sort of, condition of driving, and so you're just like Christopher. I'm sure Christopher liked to drive, but I used to be nervous because of his mental health. So I've just never allowed him to get a driver's license.
Yeah.
Right?
Texas.
Makes sense. If she had those conditions, those parents were, she is their golden child. They treat the other sister like a piece of crap. She's the pretty one, she's the smart one, she's the other one's got problems. And they just everything. It doesn't, how outrageous. The only reason that they ended up going to Florida, their mom wasn't going to go, and I had said, well, I didn't know the whole thing. I remember I was in and out of the hospital, so stuff was planned when I wasn't around. Was they didn't think that they could check them because they weren't 21. So then the mother decided, well, I'll just go with you then before. Originally, she was just going to drive down there to check them in.
Yeah.
I heard that. They do it. They are out of control with her.
Well, listen,
And she was a juvenile.
I didn't get to finish what I was saying about her smoking and drinking. Her drinking though, like the only time I've ever seen her drink, it's not like she's drinking liquor or anything like that. She's had drink like a Smirnoff Ice. The one that's sugary malt beverages, you know what I mean? Drink like 2 of them, fine, you know what I mean? So not be fine with me, like buzz or whatever. But like, she wasn't really like,
She's getting slammed.
yeah, not a drinker really, not really a smoker either, honestly.
Is there anyone else you think we need to talk to besides Andrew? Anybody you think would be, and again, like I told Mom, a lot of people are not talking to us.
A lot of other people I could think of, it wouldn't be anybody that could like have no information for you.
Gotcha.
I would say like, oh, this happened or whatever. But I know a lot of people that, I mean, obviously like my buddies would all probably have attitude. I've talked to a couple of them about it, and they all think like that my one buddy thinks that she did on purpose too, and thinks that this and that.
We're trying to avoid a lot of like second, third, fourth hand knowledge. We're looking more for somebody who is close with Dom, who would have some kind of first hand
Yeah, no,
knowledge.
this my mom was close with Dom. They talked about it, you know what I mean? But
Listen, you got my card. Take a picture.